Welcome to Women in B2B Marketing, a show where CMOs, VPs of marketing, and all strong women leaders in B2B discuss their top tactics, strategies, and tips for building high-performing teams, leveraging trends, and ultimately rocking their marketing careers. Made by and for women, insightful for all. I'm your host and 15-year B2B marketer, Jane Sarah. Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Women in B2B Marketing. Today, we are joined by Margot Kashuba Lee, who is the CMO at Belkins, which is a top appointment setting agency. I'm excited to pick her brain on that side of things, but also her amazing journey into the role of CMO, which she has held several times. So, Margot, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you. I love seeing women CMOs always, and then seeing that you've held the position multiple times. Before we get into that, can you tell us how you got into the great position that you're in now and a little bit of your career journey, how you got into B2B marketing?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. My journey is not so straightforward and planned, as you can say. So I was graduated in finance. So marketing it wasn't my subject, but then I realized that I love numbers. I love business and all these P&Ls and budgets, but it's boring. It's not the stuff, the only stuff I want to do. And then I discovered marketing. I discovered that book on, I don't remember, I guess it was about competitive strategies. And I was so amazed. I was so obsessed with all that stuff. And it was exactly in the years of, I don't remember, 2009 or 2004. I don't remember, when these social media platforms were gaining popularity. And I decided, okay, I'm going to try that. Everyone was talking about that, but nobody exactly did that. I mean, in the high level, because there were no best practices, no books, no courses to learn from. So I just used my own money, tried some strategies, built some communities, then sell that communities.
Oh, cool. Wow. What kind of communities?
So it was the local community. I don't remember, cat lovers, dog lovers, something like that, fashion and dresses, thematical community, in Facebook. And I even don't remember, it was years ago.
So many,
let's consider it they were my first startups.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Learning audience building right off the start. That's very cool.
And I realized that's cool. Actually, that can give me freedom. That can give me money, freedom to travel, because I was obsessed with traveling. I was 20, 22, 25, I don't remember.
Yes.
So of course I wanted traveling. I wanted to buy expensive stuff, some fashion, clothes. And I realized that, okay, it's a good option and I want to do that. And then this IT industry in general, were becoming more popular, and it was more man industry at that times.
Yeah.
But I decided, okay, I want that. So they offered remote job. They offered health insurance, all these perks. I love them. And I tried to apply, and I applied to the first, I can say that it was something really big positions. I just applied to some, and one IT company just approved me for PR position.
Yeah.
And I started my PR in IT. But finally, in 3 months, I became a team leader. And then I realized that, okay, I don't like writing. I don't like PR. I like managing people.
Yeah.
And I started looking for CMO positions, for head of marketing positions. And I started from the smaller companies, local ones, and then switching to biggest one. And now I can say that, yes, I'm on the right place, in the right company, the right team. And I love being a chief marketing officer. I know that our job is a bit specific because you're responsible for a lot of stuff. And usually if the company is successful, if you're hitting revenue numbers, it's more for sales team. Who is doing great job? Sales team. If something is wrong? Who is wrong? Who is doing bad job? Marketing.
Yep. It's
But
so
I love
often the
that.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have a positive attitude about it because those conversations do come up, right?
Each time during these, I know, some monthly presentations for the whole company or quarterly presentations we have, each time when we are hitting like our goals and revenue goals,
Yeah.
and somebody like is telling, okay, sales team, like good, amazing job. I'm writing to our head of sales, okay, you owe me one more bottle of wine.
Yes. You're welcome. Maybe we should get shirts made so for our next offsite or like an SKO for the marketing team to wear that just says, you're welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
So funny. It's a team effort, right? You can't have one without the other. We have to work together.
Yeah, of course, everyone, like, especially in the C level, everyone understands that. Like the team, they love
Yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the jobs as a marketing leader of the team is to spread that people are aware and the good feedback that you hear and
Yeah.
everything. A couple of things I want to dive into. One is your background in finance probably makes you the CMO of every CEO, CFO's dream because you understand finance. That's your
Yes, yes,
background.
yes.
You
It's
love
easier.
numbers and data. Yeah. Do you instantly connect with the CFO of the companies you've worked with?
Actually, yes. Like
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah. You speak their language, right? So
Yeah, for me
helpful,
it's
I'm
super
sure.
easy to read the reports, to read all the numbers. And actually I'm like one of these marketing fans of analytics and data-driven approach. And now I
Yeah.
think that yeah, that could be connected.
Yeah, I'm sure it is because there's many shades of marketing leaders, right? But there's often the finance side or tech side, and then there's the creative side, those who love spreadsheets and those who love ideation. And then there's
Oh,
a
I love
spectrum in between.
spreadsheets.
Yeah. You're that side of the marketing. I love that. I can't do spreadsheets. Thankfully, I have someone on my team who's the best with them. So, how do you think having a finance background has shaped what type of CMO you are today? What do you look at? What do you care about with this background?
Interesting question. Thank you.
Yeah.
So actually, I think it helps me a lot, really. And it was easier, like, I guess, much easier than for others, like, especially when you're just first position as a CMO or a person
Yeah.
responsible for budgets. And when you need to do your first budget, like when you
Yeah.
look at your first, I guess that for
Yeah.
me, it was easier, really.
Yep. Love that. Do you think it helps your team as well? Just bridging that gap between finance and budget and being able to share all of the numbers and the metrics that matter to the company much more clearly to your team?
I hope so. I guess that they are more struggling maybe from some point from me because like I can accept just guessing or I
Yeah.
can accept like the
Mm,
answer. Okay, I am the SEO specialist. Like I'm responsible for rankings for our positions in like search engines. Like I can accept
yeah.
that. Like I always
Yeah.
ask, how you influence the revenue? How are you gonna measure that? How are you gonna prove
Hmm.
that? How much budget do you need for that? Why? Like
Yeah.
what is the like payback period? And
Yeah.
of course, like my team got used to that, but I guess that for some of them, like, especially the first months, it was a bit complicated.
Yeah. Do you train them into, I'm sure payback period and some of these terms are new for younger marketers just starting out. Do you have training that you help to onboard teams into that way of thinking, very ROI and metrics driven?
Yeah, of course, there are different titles. And of course, like for creative writers, for example, like from them, I don't demand like that clear understanding of everything and proving with numbers.
Yeah.
But if you're in acquisition team, if you're in lead
Yeah.
generation team or demand generation team, and you spend money, you work with numbers, of course, you need to understand that. I'm like happy and
Yeah.
open to explain everything, to share some articles, templates, but actually we're quite mature company and we have a lot of stuff in our Notion, in like our Google Disk, a lot of like training videos, tutorials, like a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. So it's not
Yeah.
difficult to do that.
I love that. I wonder one thing, speaking of your team and onboarding, we were talking a little before the mics turned on, and you mentioned how leadership and building the right team is something that's just super important to you. When you come into a new position, how do you tackle that, ensuring you have the right team in place or deciding what kind of team structure will achieve the company goals?
Oh, thank you. It's a tricky question, actually. I think that first of all, like these first 3 or 6 months at CMO position are the most difficult because you need to have
Yeah.
trust from the CEO, from the board, trust that you are like moving in the right direction. But especially when it's like mature company, quite big company, mid-size or enterprise company, you can't just make like these bold movements in the beginning because you need to understand how everything works. You need to estimate,
Yeah.
you need to realize what you're dealing with. And here I'm more for soft step-by-step approach. Of course, like within, like to my opinion, within 3 months, you need to change the team like for yourself,
Yeah.
but it can be from the first day, from the first month, because you need to meet people, to work with them, to try some tasks together and to see the
Yeah.
feedback, to see the match. And I think that here, like I pay attention here more, even not to hard skills, but more on soft skills. Is there a match? If there's like some chemistry between us? Because each team leader builds a team for himself, for herself, so that's why it can be like
Yes.
super good team, great team, but not for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So, what would work with your, like, you look into what the goals are of the company and what goals you need to hit, but also who will help hit those goals best with you as their leader?
Yes, yes, of course,
Interesting.
because like especially in marketing, but I guess in like in any like part of business, but I guess in marketing it's more than in others. So there are like plenty of ways to achieve the goal. There are
Yeah.
plenty of channels you can use to do that, but you like a lot of strategies, but you need to
Yeah.
pick something that is better like for you, best fit for you. And the same with the team. So there are like two super great, for example, I don't know, content writers or SEO specialists, but
Yeah.
like one is more for like about numbers, one is more about strategy, and I need person like more about numbers, for example,
Yeah.
or or maybe my acquisition team leader is about numbers, and I need a person about strategy and about people to balance him. So
Yeah.
for me, it's more like an art of building this like self-sufficient balanced system, not of hiring the best talents on the market or
Yeah.
not following just numbers or hard
Yeah.
skills or I don't know any skills. It's more about
Yeah.
like working together. That's why sometimes you're super successful at one company and you can do nothing in another one
Mhm.
because
So
the
true.
environment is not for you.
Yeah. It's interesting because it makes so much sense that you need to, there's certain leaders that you work best with and certain people on your team you work best with. And that I'm sure you'd pull in if you had the opportunity to work with again. Maybe this is silly of me and it's just me, but I haven't heard somebody just say it out that they hire for themselves. And that it's so true. We do. We hire like what gaps we have and what gaps we have in the team, but who's going to be an efficient extension of your plan and work within your vision for the company
Yeah,
as your
because for
CMO?
example, like it's a super contrast when you're working with the C level, because in
Yeah.
C level, usually the feedback is like straightforward. We get
Yeah.
used to like receiving less positive feedback and more negative feedback, but it's not like
Yeah.
negative feedback. It's more about constructive feedback to make things right and
Yeah.
immediately, as soon as
Yeah.
possible. But if you share that kind of feedback with just specialists, they're gonna be dismotivated, frustrated, because for them it's super straightforward and you need to put some motivation before, some good words about their job, and then you can
Yeah.
use what's gonna be fixed.
Yeah. That's so true. Is there anything that you're, as a CMO today, specifically looking for as a member on your team? Anything that consistently is just top importance to you right now?
Yeah, that
Soft or hard skills?
I guess like now I'm finally happy that my team is totally like it's completed.
Yay.
So
Love that.
I've built my team,
Yeah.
but it was quite a challenge to find the right team lead because usually I built a team for myself, and here at Belkins it was different case because the team was quite big, and I had to move like really step by step,
Yeah.
building like small teams, picking the team leaders, and like shaping step by step the team for myself. So it
Yeah.
was like quite a process. And yeah, I guess the most difficult part was to find team leaders to
Yeah.
be like straightforward enough, to be about numbers enough to work with me, but still to balance me. Because, if all the team leaders are like me, it's not okay.
Yeah.
So they need to
Yeah.
add something to my team. They need to cover my minuses somehow. So we
Yeah.
need to balance each other. That's why it was quite
Yeah.
difficult.
Yes. So true. How big is your team today, estimated?
So it's not so big. It's about 50 people, but we
Okay.
serve all our companies in our group, not only Belkins, but companies in Belkins
Yeah.
group. We also have like other
Oh,
companies.
okay. Nice. Okay. Very cool. And we were talking something else that was super interesting that we touched on before was that I asked if you sip your own champagne at Belkins, if you leverage your own services
Yes.
for appointment setting. And you had an interesting response. If you could share that, what you actually do.
Yes, for years, Belkins was marketing and sales driven company. And
Yeah.
I guess it's due to that, like our CEO and our managing partners, they were from marketing. They were responsible for marketing, for sales for years. And
Yeah.
they really do understand the importance of that and the importance of technology being fast and all that marketing and sales stuff. That's why it's easy for me to work with them. But that's why we have this tradition, let's say, or maybe
Yeah.
approach that before selling something to our clients, before using something in our delivery team, we test that in our marketing team. Because
Yeah.
like we are B2B mid-sized company. We are the like that kind of ICP is the best fit for us, for our services.
Yeah.
And if we
Mm-hmm.
can't get the value from some tool, from some approach, if we can't apply that to our business, so probably it wouldn't be useful for our clients.
Yeah.
So that's why for us, it's super important. Each new, I don't know, technology, idea, new approach we are testing. For example, now we are launching omnichannel offering. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like we are not launching, so we had this offering for months. So we are bringing that out loud to the market. And
Sure.
we were testing that in marketing, all that account based marketing, omnichannel approach, omnichannel outbound, everything. First, we need
Cool.
to be tested on our marketing to prove the efficiency to make these mistakes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
to because there are a lot of stuff like written in web everywhere. There are a lot of white papers, tutorials, templates on account-based marketing, omnichannel. Everybody is talking about that stuff, but
Yeah.
when it comes to like actually doing that, you understand that okay, I can do that, but how can I measure that? Or like, does this channel really influence their revenue or not? How can I prove it? How can I show it? Or how I can attribute the value from that
Yeah.
channel? So there were plenty of questions to be answered. And like we did everything in that in our marketing first.
Very cool. So you're your own guinea pigs before bringing it to customers, like getting it to a better, even better position. Very
Yeah,
cool.
so you can be sure that if you're like buy our service, it is tested like in
Yeah.
cosmetics, tested on like animals or on humans, and here is tested on
Yeah.
our marketing.
On the marketing team.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. If I'm curious, working with other B2B brands and, of course, your own marketing team, what do you see working right now for revenue driving and demand gen in B2B?
Like you mean based on our strategies or in general?
In general, are there any tactics or channels that are just working really right now?
Like in general, I'm a believer that in marketing there is nothing like that like doesn't work or work.
Yeah.
It depends on
Yeah.
how do you apply that. I know even not talented, but how good are you at doing that stuff, implementing that
Yeah.
channel, that approach, or how good your team is at doing that. So
Yeah.
talking about us, I can say that for me personally, I love this omnichannel approach. And what I can see that, like, first of all, the user journey is more complicated now, of course, and users
Yeah.
expect from brands being like using more data, personalize all these messages and like our approaches. And of course, there are a lot of touches, usually about 20 touches before they buy. And of
Yeah.
course, like you have no choice. You just have to do omnichannel to
Mhm.
be in contact with your buyers, especially if it's B2B and your target is like medium-sized enterprise businesses. The sales cycle is super long and you need to nurture this lead during months,
Yeah.
maybe sometimes even like more than a year. So of course
Yeah.
you have to use omnichannel. I can say that account-based marketing from some point is useful for us and for almost everyone in B2B, because usually B2B has this like a bit, let's say, picky ICP
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
want some titles, some companies from some sizes, from some industries with some technology. So it's not the huge total addressable market. And you need
Mhm.
to build this special list. There are just thousands of the clients. Sometimes, okay, if there are hundreds, it's bad option, but
Yeah.
still sometimes it is like that. And you have to use account-based marketing. You don't have the whole market. You can do as like in B2C, just pay some
Mhm.
media campaign or buy some like media placement or run
Yeah.
some paid advertising or social media advertising. You can just do that. You need to act all together with all
Yeah.
your channels and to be really precise with your messaging. And
Yeah.
my favorite here is the third one. It's, let's say, I don't know even how to call that. Let's say some kind of mix of leadership content and SEO. That's focused on more commercial intent. So when you go from the bottom of the funnel, not on how-to articles, not
Yeah.
some wide content, but really show deep expertise in some area, some really useful content in the bottom of the funnel. Be the first there,
Yeah.
be the best there. It's like strategy we have in Belkins, like we had in Belkins. Now we like switched to another one because we covered that, but it was
Yeah.
super good for us.
Yeah. So for thought leadership and content and SEO, it's building, is it a specific person or people that you decide to highlight as thought leaders, or is it more building content that really adds a ton of value to your audience while showcasing your team's general expertise?
Okay, how we acted. So first of all, like my SEO specialist, he built all that, let's say, list of articles and keywords we needed to cover, and with
Yeah.
all that super deep explanation and description on what should be highlighted, where, how. And we used only like best people in our company with
Yeah.
expertise in that topic,
Mhm.
just not to be just something that our writers read in internet, but
Yeah.
like we like asked our experts to share this expertise, to share their thoughts and opinion and mistakes on that topic. And sometimes we even asked some opinion leaders from like in general from the market share some thoughts on that
Yeah.
topic.
Love that. And the benefit of bringing in outside people for quotes, if it's customers or if it's
Yes.
prospects, or it starts that relationship, strengthens it, and hopefully they'll share it if they're featured in it. So
Yeah,
maybe
they
you get
really
more
they do
reach.
share. They do share. And for me, the best words about the quality of our job were the words from our clients. Like, guys, I love so much my user journey. I love so much the content on your blog. So I love so much the video on your YouTube channel that,
Oh,
like,
good.
do you provide the services? Can I buy the
Yeah.
services from you? And for me, these are the best words ever.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. And you mentioned so omni-channel ABM and the leadership content. For the ABM side, are there specific areas that you like to bring together, or does it depend on the campaign? Like paid ads mixed with cold email outreach, which I want to tap into next too. What combination have you seen work?
So I guess for me, there are three pillars here, like paid advertising, cold email outreach, and content. And then depends on the like ICP, on the idea and the campaign in general, then can be like additional channels. But these are like the three like most important and where we use everywhere. But the tricky point here in account-based marketing is measuring. Like you need to think about that before doing the campaign because it's the most difficult part. How are you going to prove that?
Yeah. What do you do for proving the measurement of your ABM campaigns? Especially finance background, Margot.
Yes. Actually, it was difficult for us. And we were like playing the different tools, exporting to BigQuery from BigQuery, like using all these merging tools, building this analytics to prove to our financial team, okay, look, here's the revenue, here's the touch points, like for that lead, for that company, and here are the channels. So without that channel, there wouldn't be conversion for financial team. It's not a proof. And now finally we start using the tool Dream Data, and it's quite good for account-based marketing, like measuring it. So they have this attribution for their design, especially for B2B. So
Yeah. Very cool. I need to go reconnect with Laura Erdem from Dream Data for ABM tracking.
Actually, I think that now, or if you are quite good at analytics, and you use BigQuery and HubSpot, and you can merge this data, you can also prove it. And also, if you use Six Sense or Wallworks, it's also quite easy to measure that because they predicted it in their tools.
Yes, that's so true. If you have a large tech stack or a big ABM platform. Very cool. One thing you touched on, and I want to go into too, is you recently posted on LinkedIn asking or polling your audience on if cold email works for them, if they're seeing it perform. I'm curious what sparked this poll and what you're seeing for results from it.
Okay, good question. Thank you. So actually, the reason like why I asked that question, it was that after all these like big updates in spring and I guess last month also about deliverability and all these spam issues, I know we have a big database of our clients and we like talk to other companies on the market and we know that almost everyone is struggling, that the results from outbound are like lower because of the deliverability issues, because the open rates are lower, reply rates are lower. And as you can see from these rules, it's quite a challenge to remain on the same level you like were before spring and to keep doing outbound on the same level. And that's why we are like promoting this omnichannel approach, because you can't rely just on cold email outreach. Because with all these rules, it's unpredictable. You can't rely only on LinkedIn because, again, each platform has its own rules. And it's just a matter of time when some new update gonna be like not so good for you. And as we see like this in general, like more complicated user journey, customer journey, then like you need to use omnichannel. Because if you use a mix of cold email outreach, LinkedIn outreach, cold calling, for example, paid advertising, content, like other channels. So you have multiple touches. You like create some kind of, let's say, informational marketing bubble around your target persona or like the potential customer. And if you miss like touching this customer in one channel, you're going to touch this customer in another channel. And if you use just one, or they're not connected, you are just missing your conversions. And what we see, if you use like omnichannel approach, the conversions are much higher. So you need less contacts and have better results.
You have me thinking on the measurement side for launching ABM campaigns. If cold outreach is one and paid ads is another component of it, do you track the uplift in cold email response rates with those that are part of an ABM program with omnichannel versus those that are not? Is that one kind of measurement?
From our side, it's easier because we have a lot of data. like historical data, like back, I don't know, to what year. So we can rely on that data and we even have our own benchmark report on like outbound cold email outreach benchmark reports each year because we have this data. And that's why we can compare and we can see, okay, like how I saw that influence of deliverability and all these spam issues, that our like reply rates and open rates, they were like slides dropping, like slides. But on the big picture, like when you build the trend of, for example, 3 years, 5 years, it's huge. Like you see the huge difference and you can like even pick these points and see what was like published. Okay, new Google update, new like spam update from that vendor, from that, like new law about privacy, new law about like GDPR, whatever.
Wow. So do you think that cold email is still a valuable part of the omnichannel approach or your ABM campaigns? Is it a vital component or is it losing traction year over year for you?
No, of course, it's super important component, but you need just to understand like that 5 years ago, it was enough just to buy some database or to, I don't know, to download some database from Zoom Info, like just write some simple emails from some simple tool and you got your appointments. Now, of course, not. So you need like to build your database. It should be validated. It should be unique, like not something like from the darknet. Then you need to really to think about your sequences, your content, to make it personalized, to make it like for exact ICP, persona, title, maybe even company. You need to think about touch points. You need to think about how to influence this person on the whole journey. And of course, you need some deliverability tools. That's why we developed our own tool. So that's why we have our Folderly, to make sure that our emails are landed in inbox, because without that, you're like gonna lose everything. So everything gonna be in vain. That's why you need like not one tool. So you need to think about the technical part, and it's quite a headache. And then you need to test different approaches all the time. You need to be really into all the updates and news on the market. Because, like, for example, we discovered a lot of people, they are sharing the calendar link or like chili piper link in their email outreach sequences. But we discovered that it's not okay for deliverability. And for deliverability, you should to send the link to the same domain you're sending from. That's why we created a page on our website where you can book a call. And this is like framed chili piper actually on our website.
That's a huge tip to share. And good timing, because I'm getting a new campaign out this week. So thank you. That's a good one.
We are working on collecting all the tips and into articles. So I will share with you the article.
Thank you. I'll put it in show notes, everyone who's listening. I'll add it once you share it, Margot. Wow, that's a great tip. Thank you for everything you've shared today. It's super, super helpful to hear a bit about your journey and what you care about right now and what's working for you and what you're seeing with customers. One last question. If you could go back in time to Margot, just leaving the world of finance behind and realizing you want to get into marketing, getting that first PR job, what would you say to yourself if you could talk to her now, knowing all that from CMO land?
Oh, thank you for asking that. It's one of my favorite questions, actually. I would say be brave, take bold steps, take risk. I don't know, because sometimes I was too shy or sometimes I played too safe. And life is short. It's like this year, they're like coming so fast.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. And like now I'm following these rules. But if I had known that years before, I think that my journey would have been like different.
Yeah. Do you think is your advice to take big risks and big swings in life or career-wise or everywhere?
Like everywhere. Maybe because it was of how I was grown up. Like my parents were quite strict, and that's why I was quite a bit shy, modest girl. Adult world, especially the world of business, of marketing, is about to declare. If you want something,
Yeah.
ask for that, say that, like
Yes.
highlight that,
Mm-hmm.
go for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like people don't care. Your boss or like other people in the company or market in general, they don't care about your personal goals, about your like motivations or what you want in general. So
Yeah.
you need to take care of that.
Yeah. I love that. I love you used the word declare. That's a really powerful word. I think that we should use more as women and in business, right? Like we need to declare what we want, what we're going for, and take it.
We had, I guess, 2 weeks ago, we had quite heated discussion with my friends about women and men, like a job in general and like career
Yes.
questions, like being promoted and all that stuff, and equality of our
Yeah.
rights, equality of our like being promoted during the career path. And what I discovered that they are like more likely to declare. They are more likely
Mm.
to take that risk and to play all in.
Yes.
So they are ready to
Mm-hmm.
play all in. Or like they
Yes.
get that, or they like look for another one job. And we
Yes.
women are playing like a bit like more safe play. Maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's part of our nature because in general, like women are more about balancing, keeping the
Yeah.
balance, keeping everything right. But talking about what would I say to
Yeah.
myself back like to my 20s, I don't know, 15s, taking risk, being bold.
Yes. I love that. The things we learn as we get older, like how we should have been and should have felt 20 years ago, right?
Okay, what is the risk? Okay, you can lose your job, but you can always find the
Yeah.
new one. But if you don't
Yes.
try, so what? You're never gonna know.
Mm-hmm. And launch that campaign, test things out, get
Yes.
experience in different areas, right? Yes,
Once my
agreed.
guide in jungles, he told me the phrase, never try, never know.
Yes. Oh, I
So
love that.
it's true. Never try, never know.
Yes, that's a good one. So good, Margot. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. You've dropped a ton of gems. For anybody listening who wants to connect with you, where's the best place for them to find you? And should they find you on LinkedIn? Is that the best place for anyone to connect with
Yeah,
you?
yeah, LinkedIn is the best place. So I guess that you will share the link, right?
I will. I'll put it in show notes. Yes. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Margot, for joining today. And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you like the show, rate the show, share with a friend, write a review, helps us get in front of more folks and spreads the word. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was such a pleasure.